everyone. My name is Contessa Louise, and I transform busy women into entrepreneurs. And today we're going to talk about going viral and maximizing your online presence. And I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Paulette, and I can't do her justice by going through her bio. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself. Go ahead, Paulette. Tell everyone all about you and where they can find you on the internet.
Well, thank you, Contessa, for having me on and all of her super friends. I'm so excited about being here. I am Paulette Harper, and I am in Northern California. I have been an author for, about 7 years now. I wrote my first book in 2008. And so I have two daughters and 3 grandkids. I absolutely love what I do. I love connecting authors and their great books with readers. And marketing and promoting has been something that I have pretty much, for my own personal reasons, taken the realm of my own books and found ways to market myself and market others as well. And I'm excited about being here and sharing my knowledge with all of those that are on.
Yay! So where can we find you on the internet?
Yeah, that's real important. You can catch me at pauletteharper.com. I am on Facebook as well under Author Paulette Harper. I'm on Twitter, Paulette Harper. My website actually is WNLBookTours.com. I'm also on Twitter under WNL Book Tours. I'm on Goodreads as well under Author Paulette Harper.
Awesome. So tell us about your website and tell us about these book tours.
My website is called Right Now Literary Virtual Book Tours, WNL Book Tours. And I've been doing book tours since about 2010. And I started doing virtual book tours because for my own self, someone did a virtual book tour for me when I wrote my book, Completely Whole. So I was exposed to the online presence, establishing my author platform way back then. And when I saw what she was doing and how she connected me with bloggers, and then what really got me excited about launching out and having my own business was I saw that there was a need in our own community. There was a need within the African American community and readers as well, to introduce our books to a more wider range of bloggers. We have great books out there, but if no one is presenting our books to social media and to different bloggers, no one know except within our own community the books that we have. And so I saw a need and I went for it. And God's been blessing me. I meet some really great authors. I work with them. And I love what I do because I'm sharing in their vision. And that really excites me about being able to do the virtual book tours.
Awesome. So what exactly is a virtual book
What a
tour?
virtual book tour is, I pitch your book to different bloggers. And in turn, they will decide to feature you on their book. A virtual book tour creates the buzz for your book, for any author. It doesn't matter if it's fiction, nonfiction, historical. Whatever book you have, you need to have an online presence, and a virtual book tour is one tool to do that. So we create the buzz for your book by introducing your work to different bloggers. And what the bloggers do is they will feature you on a particular day. And it will be either an author spotlight, it can be an excerpt of your book, it could be a trailer of your book, but it has all the links that's connected to you, meaning that all your social links will be attached to that. And what I do is I put together a media package, a media kit to all the bloggers. And so what they do is they take that kit and then they post that on their blog. And so it's your synopsis of your book, your pictures, all your images, excerpts, any kind of information, as much information as possible that you provide to me, I provide for them. And so on whatever particular day, that blogger will feature that author. And so these bloggers, they have traffic coming to their blogs all the time. And so, of course, that changes every day. But a lot of the bloggers that I work with, they have thousands of followers. They have a lot of traffic coming in their blogs every day. And so the exposure is crazy. The exposure is there. And then the great thing about having a virtual book tour is that it's online, it's on the internet. So our information stays on the internet. And so having that kind of presence there, it's just awesome. I've had different authors, depending on what they're looking for. One of my authors, for instance, she was so interested in having her search engine name, being number one on Google, and it happened. So there's, depending on what the author is looking for. Yeah, it
Really?
happened. So depending on what the goals and what the goals are for the author, the virtual book tour is a great opportunity for them to really get some exposure. And so with these bloggers, they have followers, and then they have their own network of people. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, they're on all these other social networks that they connect their blog to. So when they post stuff on their actual blog, it's channeled to all their share buttons. It's channeled to all their connections. And so the exposure out there is just fabulous.
Awesome. And so Steph asked a couple questions. I don't know if you want to answer them now or if you want to wait until the end of our talk.
Can we wait till the end?
To answer.
Can we wait till the end? Okay.
Sure. We can wait till the end.
Okay.
We'll just scroll back and answer them. And so I know that you have a lot of other promotional tools as well. What else can you offer an aspiring author who wants to get their book out? So you have the virtual book tour.
Yeah, I have the virtual book tour. One of the things too, I want to elaborate a little bit more on the virtual book tour, because sometimes people, it's not real clear as to, the real purpose of it. But really, with a virtual book tour, it provides the opportunity for the author to really share their voice with a different audience. They can have interviews. They sometimes the bloggers will request them to do an online interview, to do some type of guest post. It's an opportunity for that author to really share with that audience from those bloggers who they really are, because our books and the blurb about our books and in our bio only tells us so much, but that guest post and that interview really does bring to light who we are as writers, and we're able to share our voices with those that come to those blogs. So the opportunities are there for us to really promote ourselves in a greater way, in a greater dimension. So the virtual book tours is one thing that I do, and one of the packages that I offer. And then the other ones are the book blast, and the book blast has the same kind of feel for the virtual book tour, but the book blast is just a massive exposure on one or 2 days, and with the book blast, it's the same kind of content, except you don't have to do interviews. The book blast really is for those authors that don't really have time to do interviews and don't have time to write, guest posts. It's for the author that just wants to get their book out there and want the maximum exposure. So my book blast, I'm averaging about 25 bloggers that have been participating in that, and that goes up and down. And so I try to at least get 25 or more bloggers to host these authors, because I love that kind of exposure for these authors. And so with the book blast, I said it's on one particular day. I'm opening up that it'll be, I break it down 1 day or 2 days, but it's massive exposure for an author to get the exposure he needs in the quickest amount of time. Now, the virtual book tour, an author can determine how long they want to do a book tour. It can either be, it can be either a 2-week book tour. It can be a whole month book tour. I have a 3-day book tour. So I've broken down my packages to really fit the convenience of the author and also to fit their budget as well. So in addition to the book blast, I have a pre-order Blitz, which is really great if you have a book that's coming out, say in August or September, and you want to get some books sales prior to, you want to do some pre-orders. Well, I have, yeah. I have a pre-order blast that I'm offering to authors as well. So people can get pre-orders, just really get that buzz out about their books before, that release date of their books. And then I also have, I hope I do a lot of stuff. I offer Facebook chats as well. I offer Facebook's chats as well, and then I do some coaching in addition to that. And so those are, some of the things that I'm able to offer authors as far as getting their, publicity out there. I also do. Also, with the virtual book tours, depending on which package they pick, I can set up radio interviews as well. And so, yeah, I do some Blog Talk Radio. I have quite a few Blog Talk Radio hosts who support me as I, support the authors. And so I can set up some radio interviews with the authors as well. I have one author that's doing a 2-month book tour right now. Yeah, she's doing a 2-month book tour in June and July. And so the first month was dedicated just to getting her exposure on radio. So I set up about 5 radio shows for her to be on. And so she has that. And so all of July, we're just focusing in on doing her blogs and doing her online presence and building her online presence and getting her the exposure she needs toward her book.
That is pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
I have a question about the pre-sales. As an author, what do we need to have ready before we do the pre-sale program that you were talking about? Because I know that there's a lot of us that are in the middle of writing, thinking about launching our book, in the next month or 2 months. And so in our minds, what do we need to have ready for you? So that
well, once you download your book on Amazon and you set it up for pre-sale, then because your pre-sale is going to be probably, a month out before your actual release date. I'm just throwing that date out there. And so once you download it on Amazon and you have a date in which it's going to be released, then that's when you can contact me and say, hey, I want to do some, I want to do a pre-order blitz, and we can set it up to do a pre-order blitz. And so it'll coincide with your release date. And so the pre-order blitz will go out and get you some, some pre-order sales prior to your actual release date.
How much time do you need in order to set something up like this?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Paula, did you hear me?
I didn't.
I said, how much time do you need? Like, say, for instance, okay, so my book is coming out in July. At what point should I contact you and say, this is what I want to do?
Like 3 weeks ago.
So you guys are hearing this. This is how much in advance you need to be thinking about these things.
Yeah, because it takes great planning on my part to make sure that I reach the bloggers, because there's so many authors and so many books out there that these bloggers they get so overwhelmed with requests from people like myself wanting to have my clients on their blogs. And so my schedule, your schedule, my schedule, and the blogger's schedule all have to coincide with one another. And so it's real advantageous that the author, gives me at least, 3 or 4 weeks advance notice that they want to do a book tour, they want to do a blast. The blasts are a little bit different. Because it, 2 or 3 weeks, I can roll with that one. But as far as the book tour, it takes a little bit more time to get, that organized. So if you're out
Awesome.
there and you have a book that's coming out in July, and you want to take advantage of a blitz that you want to do, or a book blast is cool. You want to do a book blast in July when your book comes out. That's good. The pre-order blitz is really for the author to get some pre-orders prior to the book sales, the actual book release date.
Yeah. Awesome. I have lost my train of thought. I was supposed to ask you a question. So, do you write the synopsis and things like that? Is that something that the author needs to have prepared for
Yeah,
you?
what I do once the author decides that they want to do any one of my services, they fill out a form, and so the form basically is all their detailed information, name, address, and all that stuff. But then there's a section there that they have to put in the synopsis. I ask for a synopsis. I ask for the links to all their social website. I ask for their links for Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, and if they they're selling their books at on another online portal. So all that information the author provides for me, their images, and even also here's another thing. A good thing about a virtual book tour is the fact that there are bloggers out there who want to review our books. And so that's a great thing for us. We need book reviews. We definitely need book reviews, and they'll post those book reviews on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, and also on Goodreads. Yeah, and so the author provides all this information for me, and with the book reviews, what I do, a lot of bloggers want to, they can download it on their Kindle now. And so an author can send me a PDF file or a Mobi file, whatever format they want to use, to transport their book. But then sometimes some bloggers want an actual hard copy. And so when I reach out to the bloggers, they let me know what kind of format they want to, read the book in order to do a book review. And so, the form that the author will fill out will have all that information that they'll provide for me. And so then what I do is I transform that information into a media kit for the author. And so, so that media kit will have all their images, their picture, their book cover. It'll have their synopsis. It'll have an excerpt if they want to excerpt. If they want to include a trailer, that information will be there as well. Their social links. And then, too, on my website, on WNL Book Tours, I create a webpage for the authors. And so it will have the author's own webpage, that it'll have the author's entire schedule, so that anybody that comes to my website, they can click on the links where the author will be featured, and it'll take them right to the blog where the author is being hosted. And then I also create a schedule for the for the author as well, so they can follow along and go from blog to blog and checking out who's making comments about their books, and they can interact with readers right there on the different blogs, right in the comfort of their own home. What better way to market and promote your book?
That is really, really neat. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
How long do you keep that webpage up on your site?
It stays up for a while, and so I try to keep it up, for at least 2 or 3 weeks after. The thing about it is the author will have everything that's on my website about that author. The author will have it as well. So they can post that same information on their blog, on their website. They can post it on Facebook. That's one of the things that I try to instill in my clients. Take part in this. It's not just me and the blogger. This is your book. Take part in promoting and marketing your book. So if they're being featured on a blog on one particular day, post that link out there on Facebook, post it out there on Twitter, put it out there on Goodreads. Make your own page on your own website that has the exact same images that I have on my website. Put it on your own website. And of course, your website, you're going to leave that on your website forever, because that's your stuff, So I encourage the clients, take part in this. And so when you're being featured, let people know, hey, I'm going to be, I'm being a guest author on this blogger's website, and come check me out, leave comments, and converse with me as I'm, talking to these other readers. And so that's a great way to have to build your readers, or to, have exchange with readers out there who don't know you. One of the things that I emphasize to the authors when they do a virtual book tour, it's about reaching readers that don't know you. It's about the exposure that you're going to get. You may get some sales, and I try to tell authors, I wish I could tell you're going to make all this kind of money when you do a virtual book tour. I hate to bust your bubble, but I'm sorry, I just got to be honest with you. But the thing I can guarantee you is that you're going to get some online exposure that you would never have gotten without it. And I know that because these bloggers, they have so many people that visit their blogs, and that they can send that, your links out to other places as well. So the exposure is phenomenal. And that's really how we capitalize and market on our social media. The social market is, we use the internet for our means. And this is one way to bring traffic to our website. This is one way to bring traffic to the blogger's website. We're going to get reviews on our, about our book. We're going to, readers are going to get to know us more personally. We're going to get that exposure that we need. And so it's really going to bring an awareness who we are as authors.
So let me ask you this. So I'm an author. I just finished writing my book, and I want to do a virtual book tour. And I have $250. What can you do for me?
Yeah, you can pick a couple of different programs that I have on my website. I have a 2-week virtual book tour that's $225, and so you get a book tour for 2 whole weeks, and you get up to about 3 radio interviews and everything else I said. Yeah, so $250 can get you some great exposure. Like I said, I have a package out there for an author who's written 2 or 3 books. It's an author spotlight. If you have 2 or 3 books out there, you want to spotlight all 3 of your books, I have a package out there for you. And so I've tried to make my packages so convenient for the authors, no matter where they are. If they've written 1 book, 2 books, 3 books. If they don't want to, do guest posts or interviews, you can do a book blast. I have a package out there for $150. An author just wants to do blogging, wants to do the virtual book tour, but don't want to do radio because they don't have time to do radio. So I've tried to make it so convenient so people don't use the excuse, I can't do it, I don't have the money, because I've made it available for people to do it.
So what is your budget plan?
What is my budget plan? Or the author's budget?
The author has a budget, and they're coming to you and says, I don't have a lot of money, but I want the most bang for my buck. How can you help me?
Sure. Well, you tell me what you have as far as how much you want to spend. And
between like $50 to $75.
Okay. Well, you can do a book blast, and you can do the pre-order Blitz. Those are $75. Oh. So I've tried to, So, $75 is really nothing to invest. And let me tell the authors, you're not investing in Paulette. You're investing in your book. You're just using my services to do that. You're investing in your book. And so you have to be responsible for your own investment. And so $75 is not too much to put into your own investment when you're going to get so much out of it. Some of the things that come from doing a virtual book tour, I've had authors, I mentioned this earlier, where her name appeared on the first page of Google, and that was so phenomenal for her. She was really, really happy about that. I've had authors who've been invited to come back on radio shows. I've had authors who have been invited to do more guest posts on the different blogs. So, there's so many other things that can come from that. And one of the things when an author provides their social links to me or their website links to me when they fill out the form, that brings traffic to their website. And once someone goes to their website, if you have other books there, if you have a service that you offer, if you are a life coach, if whatever you do, whatever service you provide, once someone comes on your website from that traffic, they're going to see, oh man, she does this, he does that, they offer this, they offer that, oh, they have more books. So you just don't know what can come up doing a virtual book tour. And it's really about bringing the traffic to your website so that people can really get a feel of who you are, and so that you can get the maximum amount of exposure. I also want to add, when you're building maximizing your online presence, I'm going to read this here. The virtual book tour featured authors promoting books by making guest appearances during a set frame time. On blogs, people can have podcasts. If you've done some podcasts before, you can send them to me. I can put them in the package, and the bloggers can post that on their page as well. Yes, the radio shows, the social networks, and other venues that's available. The tours, sometimes people hear them being called blog tours, book tours. They're all the same. VBS, they're all the same. But it's really about the author getting out there and getting the exposure that they need.
This is so great. I was like, most of the stuff I've never heard. I mean, I haven't been doing this for a very long time, but I've never heard of these things. And to be able to offer these things, for first-time authors, for people who've been writing for years, it's just amazing. And thank you so much for, going out there and saying, I want to help other authors. I want to help them, go viral and maximize their online presence. I want to help them get their book out there. That is you truly have a gift, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing that and telling all of my super friends all about this.
Thank you. I really enjoy doing it because I have met so many great authors. And so I try my best to just really work with everybody. And if you have a great book out there, and what saddens me is when authors write a book and then they say, I don't have any money to market and promote my book. And I'm like, wow. One of the things that I do is I facilitate. I do writers' workshops, and I talk about having a budget. I talk about making sure that you have money to market your book, because what good is it that you have published a book and don't nobody know about it? Yeah, my friends know, my family know, and people on Amazon may find me, people on Barnes and Noble may find me. But what about those other venues that I have just missed out on because I have not marketed and promoted my book? I just talk to, I ask authors, what challenges are you having? What roadblocks are you having for, promoting your book? And it is, it's money, and when I facilitate a workshop, I talk about making a sacrifice when it comes to marketing and promoting. You never cut out the editing. You never be cheap on your editing. You got to do, you pay the money to do that, but really take time out. You can put $20 a month. You can find $20 a month to set aside, put it in a jar and save it, but for the women, we don't got to go get our nails done and our toes done all the time. So I'm just saying that we will find money for stuff we really want to do, and so don't let money be a hindrance, because you got, if you've written a book and you feel that you're an expert in it, because I can tell you, if you've written a book, people going to think you're an expert in what you've written. Okay. So if you've written a book and you feel you're an expert in that, it behooves you to find a way so that people can hear about you and hear about what you have, because your book can really be a benefit to someone else. And if they don't know that you've written something to help them, then you have shortchanged yourself, and you have denied readers of hearing of this great book that you have.
Yes. Does she need to say this again? Did you guys hear this? Did you hear this? That goes in line with everything that I've been saying for day one. For day one. Your story is important. Your book is
Yeah.
important. There are people out there waiting to hear what it is
Yeah.
that you have to say. How horrible is it that you
Yeah.
haven't put aside any money at all for marketing and promotion, and it's just
Yeah.
sitting out there, and the people are still waiting. They're still waiting. So don't
Yeah.
do that. Don't do that to yourself,
Yeah.
and don't do that to those people out there who are assigned to you. Put together some money. Get a budget.
That's true.
Get a budget. Like you said, $20, $5.
Yeah.
Cut something out. I went out to dinner. I don't have to go out to
Yeah.
dinner. I can, every time I want to go
That's
out and
true.
spend, $25, $30 on dinner, I can stick it in my little, my marketing jar and use it after a couple months. I will have, $100. If all I have is $100,
Yeah.
well, that's $100. That's more than what I had to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and I think for us as authors, we have to really, if you're going to be an author,
an
a real
authorpreneur.
Author, yes, because you know what? Books are a business. And this is your business. This is our business. And so if you're going to be an authorpreneur, you really want to make sure that you have your resources in check. You could find places to promote your book for free. It's out there, but those places that, that's going to cost you money or that you need to invest in, then those are the places that you want to put your investment in. Finding places to promote your book out there, it takes a lot of work, and we can do it. We can do it. There's no, getting on the internet, Google, there's many ways in which you can, get your book out there. But you want to make sure that you utilize every avenue and venue that you have out there to get your book promoted. One of the things that I did when I wrote my first book, I wrote a nonfiction book. It's an inspirational nonfiction book, and I was new. Nobody knew Paulette. Nobody knew me at all. No, really, nobody knew nothing about Paulette. And so here I am writing a nonfiction book, and I'm like, what do I do? And at that time, I had Tate Publishing had published that book, and so my marketing representative, they were, marketing my book and promoting it, but they weren't doing like I thought they should, And so I took the ram of my own fate. And I went out there and I started marketing and promoting myself. I started putting my book out on the different blogs. I was in a zone. I didn't even know really what I was doing, but I was making some headway because somebody said to me, Paulette, I see you everywhere on the internet. And that made a difference for me because then I knew I was doing something right. And it takes lead work out there. It takes work to get your book out there on the internet. We can do it, if you don't want to invest, your book in my services or with LaShondra. If you don't want to, hey, you can do it on your own. But I'm gonna tell you, it takes some work. It really does. I
just did a presentation. And one of the things that I talked about in my presentation is, hey, we had the launch party. We did the free 99 sale on Amazon, and everybody went and bought our books, and we became an Amazon bestseller. And the next day, you heard crickets. No one bought your book. No one knows about you, Kate Feide. No one cares about you or your book. And the only reason why anyone bought your book is because your friends, your mama, your daddy, all of them downloaded it because it was free. Now that they got to pay $2.99, $4.99, $10.99 for your book, they ain't gonna do it. So what do you do next?
You got that right. That's so true. That is so true.
And you sit there all sad face, like, wait, I'm supposed to be this great author. And you look, you're going on Amazon every couple hours to see how many people downloaded your book, and it's zero. And I know that happened to me. Wow. That happens to a lot of authors. And we need to start thinking about what happens afterward. What is your plan? What is your plan? We don't have a plan. Our plan is we're going to write books. And it takes a lot more than that to
And
be
that's
an
it.
entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah, when I did I facilitated a workshop one time, and I was telling the authors, they were aspiring authors, and they were gun ho about writing their books, and so yeah, they was just like that. And I told them, I said, it's great that we want to write books, I said, and that's really pretty, the easy thing about being an author is really writing the book. We have the stories within us, we have the words to write the books, but the thing about it is, once you write the book, then what you gonna do with it? How you gonna let people know that you've written a book outside of your immediate circle? How are you gonna let people know? And so I started to share with them what I had did. Now, this was just me. This is what I did when I wrote my first book, and how much time that I had spent, looking on the internet to put my name out there, and to, do branding for myself. And one of the aspiring authors, she said, well, I don't know if I really want to do that or not, and I said, well, I'm just sharing with you what I did. You don't have to do that, because it's easy to write a book. It's hard to market and to promote it, because you have to do it continually. You have to be consistent in it. You can't just market your book 1 month and think, oh, I'm there. No, your book, your name have to be out there on the internet, so people can constantly see who you are and what you're doing.
I totally agree with you on that. And I've seen it again. I've seen it happen. I know it. And we're missing plans. Now, when you go and you work with your clients, you talk about a marketing plan and what to do after the book blast and after all of these things. Help them out.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I try to give them as much information as I possibly can. I do some coaching, some author coaching as well, and with my author coaching, I go more in depth with the author as far as helping them set up their marketing plan. Before their book is released, during the time their book is released, and then also after. Now, with the book blast and the pre-blitz, what the author can do, those guest posts, if they did a virtual book tour, those guest posts that they've created, those online interviews that they've done, they can use those anywhere. That's their information. That belongs to them. So they can go and submit those guest posts, to other blogs that they've searched out. You just change the name and change some of the content, so It's not, the exact same thing. And so they can take those that information that they have already prepared, and they could reuse it in other things. You could take your guest post, you do a little ebook on it, you get information on your blog about your guest post. There's so many things that we can do to bring attention to who we are as authors, so that our reader base can really grow.
All right. Questions. Steph, I know that you asked a couple, and my chat box is doing something kind of funky here, so I can't see them. My chat box is just scrolling. Yeah, it is the weirdest thing.
Well, while you're doing that, how about I share some of the other benefits for doing a virtual book tour? Okay. So, virtual book tours are generally less expensive and time-consuming than traveling. You don't have to travel at all. You can do a virtual book tour in your pajamas. Or if somebody naked again, okay, you can do that. Nobody sees you. Authors can reach more people and more target audience with the virtual book tour. Okay. The virtual book tour provides quality, lasting links to the author's website. These links have search engine availability, value, and may continue to provide new visitors to the author's website for months and years to come. Authors can conduct a virtual book tour. I said this, from the comfort of your own home. Author decides how long they want to promote, how many stops the author wants to make, depending on the book. Some authors have appeared on 20 or more blogs, and that's I think that's really great. The author is going to expose their book, their writing style, and voice to an audience of the bloggers. And bloggers have high visibility of traffic on their blogs, and they also help promote the authors.
So, anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
I still can't see them, but you are more than welcome to come into the hot seat.
How do we set up long-term marketing? How do we set up long-term marketing? You just keep marketing. You no, really, because there's so many with social media. If you are active on Facebook, and say you're active on Facebook and Twitter, and you pretty much mastered that, if that's anybody's capability of doing mastering Facebook and Twitter. I'm talking about just, being out there and being social on Facebook and Twitter. And then if you feel that you want to reach more readers, then, go to another platform, go to Goodreads, try out Goodreads. So there's always places where we can market our books. One thing that I did, I don't think I even finished my conversation, my example earlier when I was talking about one of the things that I did when I wrote my first nonfiction book. I took an excerpt out of my book and I submitted it to different magazines. And I got featured on quite a few magazines. And so I started to build my brand of who I was as an inspirational speaker that way. So you can take an excerpt out of your book, and depending on what it is, if it's nonfiction, you could seek after, magazine, publicity, magazine companies, and you can submit your article to them. They'll feature you in there. And what greater exposure is that, to be in a magazine? I was on a cover of a magazine, believe it or not, and I've been featured in many magazines because I took the time out to search for magazines that would accept my articles, and they did. So as far as having a long-term marketing plan, you know what? You really can't say that I'm going to market my book for only a year, or I'm only going to market my book for 6 months or 2 years. You have to market your book as long as you want life to be in your book. The moment you stop marketing it and promoting it, your book just gets shuffled in with all those other millions of books.
And you don't even think about that. Now, as soon as you stop marketing, your book is just, it's like it's non-existent.
Yeah.
Non-existent. Now, one of the other questions Steph asked, my chat finally stopped scrolling, is how do you promote a book for someone who can't stand social media? You might be in the wrong business.
Yeah, you know what? Well, you know what? If you don't, the thing about the virtual book tours is that we take one of my authors used this tagline about my business. She said, you take the stress out of marketing. And that's the great thing about doing, your virtual book tours and your book blasts and whatnot. If an author doesn't too particularly like social media, I'm not saying you got to spend 5 and 10 hours on social media, but I am saying that you can hit a share button that it will take your link to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatnot. You don't have to sit there and just be, so consumed with being on those social networks, but you do need to participate. So if you can, devote 10, 15 minutes a day just to, promote your book, just do that. Do something. So you don't, I'm not saying you got to spend hours and hours on, on the internet. Who really has that kind of time? But I am saying take, 10 or 15 minutes out a day,
yes. Sandra
and
just
say,
said
I'm gonna
Hootsuite
I'm
is
gonna
your
promote my
friend.
book, and
Yes.
just do that. Do
Hootsuite
what
is
you can.
take a Sunday, spend an hour, schedule out all of your social media for the week, and you don't have to think about it. It's done for you. Don't think about it. Then when Sunday comes around again, go spend another hour and do it again. So now you're only spending 1
Can you
hour a
hire a
week
ghost?
promoting your book. You know, hire a ghost to do social media. If you have the money to hire someone to do your social media for you, hire it. Most of us don't. Most of us are going to be doing the leg ourselves.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
His question was, can you hire a
I
ghost
didn't
to
hear
do
you.
your
What
social
did you
media?
say?
If you want to hire, I will tell you,
Oh,
a ghostwriter.
well, you can hire
You don't
anybody
necessarily
to do
need a ghostwriter to do your social media, because all you're writing is, like, if you're going to be on Twitter, you only have 140 characters. So you really don't need to hire a ghostwriter to do your social media. You really want a social media expert. That's what you want. If you're going to invest that much money in social media, you want someone who knows social media and can put your name out there in places that you can't do yourself. If you're going to be, an hour, a week on social media, if you're going to throw, $500 a month on social media, go ahead and hire someone, because that's about how much it's going to cost you. And $500 to $1,000 a month to hire someone to do your social media. So that may not be the best investment for you.
But there are people, there are people, there are people. I mean, I know someone who is a tweet expert, and that's his business. He tweets for people, and I mean, I'm going to utilize him because he's reasonable. So I'm going to utilize him when I get ready, to do my book. So, I mean, there are people out there, but still, even when you hire someone, that's your baby, and you want to make sure that your baby is being taken care of, and you give, you're out there promoting your work, and it's not just because someone else, social media, whomever, they may not take the care, with your stuff like you will, so, just take the time out to do it. The computer and the internet is really our friend. It really is. Contessa, you're just stuck there. Can you hear me?
There we go. So here we go. I saw something here. You don't have to be on social media, but you do have to get in front of the readers.
Right.
So to go, you can go offline, you can do networking, you can do all those things, but you have to, if you want to get your book out there, if you want to get your story out there, if you want to sell some books, people need to know that you're out there and that your book is out there. There was a question out there about people who have multiple books. Is it better to market yourself as an author that has multiple books, or to market each individual book?
Well, you know what? I think that just kind of depends on. I hear some feedback now, me talking. I think that just kind of depends on the author. I mean, I've had authors who've written multiple books, but they promoted that one book that they had just released. And so it just depends on the author. And so if you're doing, if you're promoting on social networks, then of course you're going to be promoting all your work, unless you do, one of my book tours, and that's one book unless you did the, spotlight the 2 or 3 books. So it just kind of depends on the author and really the direction that they want to go in as far as, promoting that particular book. Because the thing about it is, even when you...
So what I'm hearing is...
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say
Go
is,
ahead.
even if you are an author of multiple books and you are promoting your recent book, the traffic that goes to your website is going to tell readers, and even the link that you provide to Amazon is going to tell readers when they go there that you have multiple books, and so the readers are going to know that you are an author of just more than one book. Can you hear me?
Paulette, thank you so much for coming on. You shared a wealth of knowledge. Again, let everyone know how we can find you and if you have any specials for our viewers.
Okay, yeah. You can reach me on my website, which is WNLBookTours.com. You can connect with me at pauletteharper.com. I'm on Facebook as well as Twitter and also on Goodreads. And I was offering 2 authors the opportunity to do one of my book tours for $25 off. That excludes the book blast and the pre-order Blitz. So any other package that I have available for an author, 2 of the chosen authors can use the $25 towards those.
And I think probably one of the easiest way to do that for everyone, and I believe everyone that's here live is in my Facebook group. And if you are watching the recording, I just put it in the chat, bit.ly/write. Come join us in the group. Let me know that you're interested in one of her packages. I will have all the information about her packages in my group, so you guys will be able to contact her. And that way you just don't get random people that you don't know asking you about these specials. I think that's probably the best way to do that. So if you are interested, go leave a message in the group, post a message, let me know. And we will make sure that Paulette gets that. Again, thank you so much. This was informative. I cannot wait to have you on. I'm definitely going to need some services when my book comes out, and looking forward to having a wonderful relationship with you.
Thank you so much, Contessa. I appreciate being on, and all of you who have tuned in. Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Thank you guys. Once again, my name is Contessa Louise. You can find me at ContessaLouise.com, and I transform busy women into entrepreneurs. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.